Hello students, this is Rudradeep sir, and today I am going to give you a lesson on the topic structure of atom. The first video you must have seen, and this is the time for the second video to upload. Okay, please go through the video, and if you find um, any confusion, just let me know. Okay, or let your corresponding teacher know. Thank you. So last day we have learned about the atomic model of Bohr. Now today we are going to learn how electronic configuration of an atom is written. Okay, there are many elements in this world, but in class 9 we are going to learn from atomic number 1 to atomic number 18. Clear? To 1 to 18 is in our syllabus, and that is we are going to learn today. You already know what are the atomic numbers of few elements, or there is a chart in your book where you can learn the atomic numbers of few elements. Say hydrogen, atomic number is 1. Helium, atomic number 2. Lithium, atomic number 3, and like that up to 18. Argon, atomic number 18 is there in our syllabus. So how electronic configurations are learned? How we are going to do that? To understand that, let me tell you something. Yesterday we have learned according to Bohr there are several orbits in which electrons are revolving around the nucleus, right? So first orbit is known as K. If this is the nucleus, then this one will be known as K. Second orbit known as L, second orbit as L, third orbit as M, fourth orbit as N. So like that we are going to go up to K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, O, P, Q, sorry, Q. Okay. So how electrons are going to fill up the orbitals? In the first orbit or in K orbit, the number of electrons that can be placed, the maximum number of electrons that can be placed is 2. In L orbit, on orbit number 2, it is 8. In orbit number 3, it is 18. In orbit number 4, it is 32. Okay. So how is this happening? This is in accordance to the 2n square rule. In case of K orbit, the number of orbit is 1. We are going to place 1 here. So 2 into 1 in place of n. 2 into 1 square, that will be equal to 2 into 1, that is equal to 2. So maximum how many electrons can be occupied in the first orbit? It is 2 into 1 square, that is 2. In the second orbit, it will be 2 into 2 square, that is 2 into 4, that is equal to 8. Okay. In the third orbit, it is 18. In second orbit, maximum 8 electrons can be placed. In case of the third orbit, it will be 2 into 3 square, that is 2 into 9, that will be equal to 80. So that is how these numbers are coming. This is in case of the first orbit, the value of n will be 1. In case of the second orbit, the value of n will be equal to 2. In case of third orbit, it will be 3, and in case of fourth orbit, it will be 4, and so on. So this is how 2n square rule works. Okay. So this is how orbitals can be filled up. Now let us write the electronic configuration of few elements. Let us take the first element. Let us take sodium. The element, I'm writing the symbol of sodium, it is Na, and the atomic number of sodium is 11. What is the atomic number? It is 11. And we have already learned that the number of proton is called atomic number. The number of proton is always equal to the number of electron. Why? Because atoms are electrically neutral, that is why number of protons will always be equal to number of electrons. So how many electrons are there? It is also 11. So what should be the electronic configuration of Na? It will be I already told you. The first orbit maximum how many electrons can be placed? 2. In the second orbit how many electrons can be placed? It is 8. So what has it become? It has become 2 plus 8, that is 10. Now 1 electron is remaining. In the second orbit it will be 8, and in the third orbit how many electrons are left? See, 2 plus 8, that has become equal to 10. Only 1 electron is remaining, that is in the third orbit 1. I already told you that maximum 18 electrons can be placed in the third orbit, but it doesn't mean that less than 18 electrons can be placed, cannot be placed. 1 can be placed, 2 can be placed, 17 can be placed, actually 18 can be placed, but not even 19, not 19, not more than 18, but up to 18 can be placed. Okay, let us write the electronic configuration of carbon then. What is the atomic number of carbon? It is 6. So how many electrons are there? It is also 6. Why? Because number of protons are always equal to number of electrons. The 6 means first orbit 2 electrons, always 2 electrons. Second orbit 4 electrons will be there. Why? Because maximum 8 electrons can be placed, and 2 plus 4, it has already become 6. So no more electrons are there to place here. Okay, not only carbon, let us write the electronic configuration of lithium. Atomic number is 3, electronic configuration should be 1, 2, 1. Why this is 2, 1? Because you already know that in the first orbit maximum 2 electrons can be placed, and in the second orbit maximum 8 electrons can be placed. That means less than 8 electrons can also be placed. And what about hydrogen or helium? Hydrogen's atomic number is 1. So what is its electronic configuration? Obviously its electronic configuration is 1. And in case of helium, its electronic configuration will be 2 only. Okay, so let us write the electronic configuration of phosphorus. Phosphorus atomic number is 15, electronic configuration 285. Okay, what is the electronic configuration of chlorine? Atomic number 17, electronic configuration 287. See, count, add these numbers, you will get 17. In case of argon, atomic number is 18, electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 8, that is argon. Clear? So this is how we calculate the determine the electronic configuration of an element. And now we are going to learn how valencies are calculated out from this one. Okay, how valencies are calculated out. Okay, let me tell you, if an element is having 1, 2, 3 or 4 electrons at its outermost shell means the last shell, it may be the second shell, it can be third shell, it can be seventh shell also. It is the last number that we are writing. It is the number of electrons placed in the last shell. In case of hydrogen and helium, as they are having only one shell, that is why the first shell is the last shell for them. Okay, so if an element is having 1, 2, 3 or 4 electrons at their outermost shell, then their valencies will be 1, 2, 3 and 4 respectively. See, in case of sodium, the number of electrons in the last shell is 1. So the valency is also 1. Clear? In case of carbon, it is 4. So valency is also 4. In case of lithium, it is 1. That is valency is also 1. In case of hydrogen, it is also 1. That is why valency is 1. In case of helium and argon, we will talk about it later. See, there are two elements which are having 5 and 7 electrons at their outermost shells, phosphorus and chlorine. So I told you that if 1, 2, 3 and 4 electrons are there at the outermost shell, then their valencies will be 1, 2, 3 or 4 respectively. But what about 5, 6, 7 and 8? If an element is having 5 electrons, 6 electrons, 7 electrons or 8 electrons at their outermost shell, we are going to subtract that value from 8. If phosphorus is having 5 electrons at its outermost shell, then to calculate the valency of phosphorus, we need to subtract this 5 from what? 8. It will become 3. So what is the valency of phosphorus? It is 3. In case of chlorine, we are going to subtract 7 from 8 always. From 8, okay, 1. So valency of chlorine is also 1. So maximum valency is 4. Not maximum valency, okay. So what am I saying? That chlorine has valency equal to 1. So understood what I am saying? So in case of argon, how many electrons are there? 8. So we are going to subtract 8 from 8, that will be equal to 0. So what is the valency of argon? It is 0. Helium is an exception where number of electron in the last shell is 2, but its valency is 0. So just remember it, no need to, I am not going to explain it today. Okay, helium has valency equal to 0. Clear? As it is a noble gas. It is a noble gas. Those who are having valency equal to 0 or 8 electrons at the outermost shell are known as noble gases. In case of helium only, it has only 2 electrons. So how many noble gases are there? 6 noble gases are there, and all of them are having 8 electrons at their outermost shell except helium. Okay, helium is a noble gas, but it is having only 2 electrons at its outermost shell. Clear? So this is how we write the valency, we determine the valency, and this is how we determine the electronic configuration of an element. Now let us come to our next topic, which is known as isotopes. What are isotopes? Isotopes is very important. Before that, we need to know how the symbol of atom is should be written. Okay, let me tell you. If sodium symbol is Na, everyone knows. Okay, atomic number of sodium is 11. Atomic number of sodium is 11. Mass number of sodium is 23. What is atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons. And what is mass number? It is protons plus neutrons. So if you are asked what is the number of neutrons present in sodium, you just need to subtract this value from this value. What you will get? 23 minus 11, that will be equal to 12. Okay, so as atomic number is 11, it means number of proton is 11. If already 11 protons are here, how many neutrons are there left? 12. 11 plus 12 will be equal to 23. So in case of mass number, both proton number and neutron number will be counted. And in case of atomic numbers, only number of protons will be counted. Okay, now the thing is, the atomic number should always be written at the bottom of any element. For example, in case of sodium, it should be written at the lower left corner of sodium, and the mass number should always be written at the upper left corner of the element. And I'm going to tell you one more thing, that this is not the only convention. You can write in that way also 23. In that way also. So wherever you are putting 11 or atomic number, the atomic number should be at the bottom. It doesn't matter whether you write it in the left or right. It should be at the bottom, and mass number should be at the top. No matter wherever you are writing, to the left or right, it doesn't matter. So these all four conventions are correct, but according to NCERT, this is considered as the correct. So I suggest you to follow this one. Okay, this is how we write the atomic number and atomic mass while writing the symbol of an element. Now the thing is, what are isotopes? Isotopes are those which are having same atomic number but different mass number. For example, hydrogen. You heard of hydrogen, I hope. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes. Number 1 is known as protium. Number 2 is known as deuterium. And number 3 is known as tritium. Protium is the so-called hydrogen. And the symbol of sodium is this, 1H1. Deuterium's symbol is 1H2. And tritium's symbol is 1H3. So see, in all the cases, the atomic numbers which are written at the lower left corner of hydrogen is 1. It means atomic number is same for all. but the mass number is 1 for protium, 2 for deuterium, and 3 for tritium respectively. Clear? So it means there must be a difference in their neutron number. That is why mass number is changing, because atomic number is fixed, so as the proton numbers. So proton numbers is not changing, and if we subtract the atomic number from mass number, we get what? Number of neutrons. In case of number of neutrons equal to 1 minus 1, that is equal to 0. In case of deuterium, it is 2 minus 1, it is 1. And in case of tritium, it is 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. So, in deuterium and tritium, 1 and 2 neutrons are present respectively. That is why there is a difference in the mass seen. And this phenomena is known as isotopes. So, isotopes are those which are having same atomic number but different mass number. Clear? There are several elements, many elements, not only hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, all of them show their actually have their isotopes in nature. Okay, but in very minimal amount. But there is an atom which is known as chlorine. Chlorine has two isotopes. One is known as 17Cl35, and the other one is 17Cl37, and both of them are found in nature moderately. That is why we get a confusion. In case of hydrogen, we consider one as the main hydrogen. In case of oxygen, 8O16 is considered as the main oxygen. But in case of chlorine, we are very much confused which one is to be considered as the original one. That is why we need a what? Correction. Now see how this correction is made. Okay, now see how this correction is made. We will have to take the average. Have to take the average, and to do that we need to do what? We need to do some procedure, go through some procedure. It is what is the atomic mass of the first chlorine? It was 35. And how much of Earth's abundance or how much percentage it is found in Earth? 75%. 75% of chlorine are having 35 mass, and rest 25% of chlorine are having 37 mass. So we will have to take the 75% of 35, that is 75 by 100, plus 37 into 25% of 100. So the result of this will be the original atomic mass of chlorine, which is considered as the average mass of chlorine. Okay, so just 35 into 75 by 100, that will be equal to what? 105 by 4, and this will be equal to 37 by 4. So 37 plus 105, 142 by 4, that will be equal to 35.5. That is why whenever we write the formula of chlorine, we write in this way, 17Cl35.5. Why? Because we always take the average of the isotopes masses, not only in case of chlorine but also in case of each and every element. In case of hydrogen, it is 1.008, but it is nearly 1. That is why we considered 1 as the original. In case of oxygen, it is 16.0064. So we consider that as it is very less. But 35.5 is too much. We cannot take it as 35. We cannot take it as 36. Because if we do so, then we will in for future calculations, or in future we are going to do big mistakes in the calculation. Okay, so that to avoid those situations, we will have to take 35.5 U as the atomic mass of chlorine, the average one. Clear? Now let us come to the next topic, which is isobars. It is just the opposite of isotopes. In isotopes, what was same? Atomic number. And what was different? Atomic mass. In case of isobars, it is just the opposite. The elements having same atomic mass and but different atomic numbers are known as isobars. Examples are what? One is 18Ar40 and the other one is 20Ca40. Atomic number of argon is 18, atomic number of calcium is 20. So both are different. but the atomic mass of argon is 40 and atomic mass of calcium is 40. Both are same. So these are the examples of what this is. If you are asked write an example of isobar, then you will have to write both of these, not one. Not this is not the isobar or this is not the isobar. This is the isobar of this and this is the isobar of this. So the thing is what, they are isobars to each other. Okay, so one examples mean you will have to write both the symbols of argon and calcium. Is that clear? The number of protons of argon is 18. Number of neutron will be equal to what? 40 minus 18, that will be equal to 22. In case of calcium, the number of protons is equal to 20, but the number of neutrons is equal to 40 minus 20, that will be equal to 20. See, it has 20 and 20 proton and 20 neutron. It has 18 proton and 22 neutrons. The sum of both these numbers are same for these. That is why they are having same atomic mass, but the atomic number is different for both of them. In fact, it is a noble gas and it is a metal. Clear? So there is a difference between isotope and isobar. Isotopes are the examples of same element, but isobars are completely different element having same mass. Okay, so here we are going to complete our lesson. Okay, all the topics from this chapter is covered up. Just go through the video, and if you find any problem, just let me know. I am always there for you. Not only me, your teachers are always there for you to help. Clear?